Hello YouTube friends, this is Fossilsaurus. I'm bringing something not too impressive looking, but very impressive animal to you. One that I am quite sure quite a few of you, if not most of you, have heard of before. I'm not usually big on buying insignificant and weird, like super incomplete and kind of blah looking pieces. But once I tell you what it is, you will probably understand why I wanted to get it. This is none other than the giant crocodilomorph sarcosuchus. The giant crocodilomorph that has been made quite famous in the past decade or so due to new findings, a bunch of new skeletons found, and at the time they were overestimating it. It wouldn't have been as famous and as big a deal wouldn't have been made of it if they understood the more likely size than what they thought at the time. They believed at the time that it was about a 40-foot animal, like 38 point something. Based on snout to vent measurements, which is fairly reliable with crocodilomorphs, crocodiles. I'm not exactly sure where the misinformation came in or where the difficulty came in, but after which would have made it potentially the largest crocodilomorph crocodile ever. But something was done wrong, there was mistakes made or something, or they just redid the measurements, and the actual size is more like 31 point something feet, which drops it down from being the largest crocodile to about, I think, like third place or something. Maybe even tied for third or fourth or something. It's really up in the air depending on where you look. People have different numbers for different ones of the top animals, and it's very, very hard to find or to know what the most accurate information is. From what I see that seems more reliable, or that I see more often, I'm going to go with the largest being a tie. Doesn't mean they're exactly the same size, but as far as the information that I can find, one's bigger than the other, sometimes the other's bigger than this one, is Deinosuchus and Purosaurus. Purosaurus many times is considered to be the largest, and that is in the caiman. It's related to caimans, or more related to caimans. Deinosuchus sometimes is considered the largest, and I believe they're more along the alligator line, but only distantly. None of these are true crocodiles. Now, third place, what might be tied for third place with Sarcosuchus, or might be a bit above Sarcosuchus, is called the Ramphosuchus, and I believe that is a very unusual skinny jaw, very skinny jaw, but with a kind of a gullet thing going on. I could actually be mixing that up with something else, another one of the super large crocs, but I believe that is the case with that. So that might even be above Sarcosuchus. Either way, Sarcosuchus is a massive, massive, horrifyingly scary animal, but it doesn't deserve the title of largest crocodilian or crocodilomorph, which it is a crocodilomorph. It's not a crocodilian. It's only distantly related to modern day crocodilians. Now these guys were pretty primitive. I mean, obviously they were very primitive if they're not even, I mean, if they're only related to what we have now. These guys were generally freshwater animals. They would think that they could probably go into like partial brackish or a little bit of salinity, but they could not handle, it's thought that they could not handle saline, high saline environments. They also believed that they were not able to do the famous death roll, I believe due to the snout form, which would mean that they generally ate small prey and were not these giant monsters grabbing the necks of sauropods coming down to feed it or drink at the water. They were not ripping pieces off. They were generally eating, grabbing things that they could swallow whole. Massive snout as far as length, about 75% of the skull, but it looked very much like a gharial. Very thin snout, the lengthwise down, and it had a very bulbous nodule at the end. Very recognizable. I don't think anything else looks just like it. Even gharials that have that knobby thing on the front, the males, even their knob looks very different than a sarcosuchus's. Comparatively, they can be pretty big, maybe pretty close to the same size, but it's a different ball game completely. They look very different. They lived from 133 to 112 million years ago. A lot of people get confused with some of them, like Deinosuchus. That was from the Mesozoic, but a lot of the other, like Purosaurus, a lot of people just assume that all these massive crocodilians were Mesozoic animals, but plenty of them were not. Plenty of them were post-Mesozoic, Cenozoic. Purosaurus was much more recent than that. But this is one of the dinosaur age ones, just like Deinosuchus. Now, I mentioned in the video with the mosasaur snouts that I really like bones that have something definitive about them, which is what I liked about this. I mentioned eye sockets. This, of course, the tooth sockets. You can tell exactly. Now, you can't tell exactly where this was on the jaw, but you can tell exactly like what it was. This is very. If you can see, it's hard to tell, but you can see the angle of these comes up like this. So it's a very. It's not directly up by any means. It's like at a 45-degree angle from this surface. So if the teeth were up like that, which is basically what it would be like, this would be, as you can see here, slanting down, which could have been on the inside of the teeth, like the inside of the mouth, or it could have been on the outer side. I couldn't tell you. Now, this is broken off here. This is not smooth transition like it would be in life, so that doesn't give any hints there. Unfortunately, this could have gone significantly further down and curved around this way, or maybe it just, it could have done this exact same thing here, but this is just broken down a little bit. I couldn't even begin to tell you, because I couldn't begin to tell you where on the snout this is. You can see these little holes, which are nerve holes, which generally you would see, you definitely see all over the outside. So that leads me to believe that this is probably the outside of the mouth, or the outside of the jaw, like that, and then this is the inside here. But I believe I have seen instances where there are nerve endings on the inside too, so I can't even be sure about that. But since I'm only questioning whether that is something I may have seen before, I'm going to go with the fact that this is the outside of the jaw area. And so the teeth stick up like that, and so that this is the cross section of it is what you're looking at here. The teeth are also angled back a little bit here. If you see, they're at slight angles there. So it gives you a little bit of an idea. I mean, you definitely get this, the shape of the tooth, the size of the tooth imprint here, the direction. I mean, I'm glad that there's enough here to give that information. So it is very cool. If this was just some other crocodilian, I would not have gotten it. But come on, it's a sarcosuchus. You got to. Even though it's not the world's or the biggest crocodilian known anymore, crocodilomorph known anymore, it's still a big boy. So you got to give it respect and you got to appreciate it. So not the coolest looking piece. It's definitely one that when I look at it, I'm just kind of like, eh. I mean, I love what it is, but it's not going to have a place of priority when when I have my display up, for sure. But it is a very, like I said, I'm very thrilled. It was not expensive, which is why I ended up getting it. I mean, if it was something that was real pricey, I would not have gone for a piece like this, even though it is a sarcosuchus. But I wouldn't have gone out of my way much, really. I feel like I'm really downplaying this and talking bad about it, which I don't mean to be. It's very cool. I mean, this is sarcosuchus right here. This is from a sarcosuchus, that massive crocodile, one of the biggest, well, not a crocodile, one of the biggest crocodilomorphs ever. So, or known. I can guarantee you that there were bigger ones that have lived that we just don't know about. And this could have been the biggest one. It's just as far as we know, because every individual we ever will discover is going to be within the average. So there's always going to be significantly larger individuals that have lived. So this easily could, sarcosuchus at 31 feet could easily, I mean, that's within the average range, and so is the 36, 37 foot size of Deinosuchus, Purosaurus, or whatever size they are. That's within the average too. So Sarcosuchus's largest ever could easily be a significant jump above the next largest Deinosuchus, Purosaurus. Just from what we do know, it's very cool. I'm not the biggest fan of crocodiles and crocodilomorphs and so on, but there are certain ones that really just stand out as very, very awesome animals. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys, I mean, like I said, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Sarcosuchus. Not the most impressive looking piece, but like I said, very impressive animal. So I hope that you guys were able to appreciate this, at least to some degree, even though it's kind of an ugly piece. So thank you for watching. Go ahead and leave me a like if you want. It would be very much appreciated, or subscribe. I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.